The financial markets can be a scary place, and they don't rest for anybody. Our goal here at A1 Trading is to bring you coverage every day so you can stay up to speed on the latest market moves. Before the show begins, remember that trading involves risk, and anything shared in our content should not be construed as financial advice.
I do have some trades on. I am long Aussie CAD.
For these positions, I wouldn't mind holding them for 3 months.
So around 100.5 to 99.5 in that sort of area.
Pulver alerts, I have 100 shares at 11.79. I closed it out today.
Start building your strategy based upon historical data.
Welcome to A1 Trading.
Spooky season is here, and with it, we're doing a huge Halloween sale. Simply scan the QR code and you'll be connected to a real person on our support staff who can get you set up with a copy of the Edge Finder, our VIP memberships, the stock box, and more for 45% off. It's the biggest discount we do all year long, so do not miss your chance to pick up a copy of the Edge Finder at 45% off. And if you find QR codes too scary, then feel free to use the link in the description down below instead to explore our website or to speak directly to a member of our support team. Don't miss your chance to get some spooky savings on the Edge Finder and our other products, and happy Halloween. All right, everybody, good morning and happy Halloween. Can you guess what I am for Halloween this year? I am Santa Claus. You got it. Nice guess. Good to have you guys back for another stream. Check out my bear claw, or my it's supposed to be a paw, but it's just an oversized paw. If you don't if you've not met my cat before on a live stream, well, I have 2 cats, but sometimes they make appearances, and I am dressed up as my cat today. Catwoman. Yep, you got it. That's it. Good to have you guys back. Welcome back to another live stream, of course, Halloween edition. Got the spooky setup here behind me. We got it's just slightly out of frame. Hold on, you can see my pumpkins behind me. There we go. Happy Halloween to anyone who is celebrating, I suppose. It's one of my favorite holidays. It's just fun. Get together, eat candy. What's wrong with that? Anyways, let's jump into some markets. Cat edition. S&P 500, NASDAQ, they were down yesterday, but you had a nice after-hours surprise yesterday. So let's just update. Of course, if you're someone who watches indices, this move yesterday might have been a shocker to you, right? You might have had a weird move going on. Well, yesterday, the market was sort of trading lower off the idea of some wobbly earnings in regards to, like, for example, Apple. I'm sorry, I'm jumped ahead. Microsoft, right? Microsoft and Meta were both down in yesterday's trading session because their earnings, I think it was specifically some of the AI related revenues were not super thrilling to the market. That's why these stocks got punished for the day. Meta yesterday was down 11%, right? And then, of course, you had Microsoft also down, but you had Google to kind of counterbalance it. Nice little push to the upside yesterday on Google, though stock did get faded a little bit. The reason I'm showing you this is because we are in the heat of, kind of earnings season, and the mega techs are up and at 'em here this week. We got through a lot of it, and yesterday we had really good news. That is, we had Apple's earnings, which came in very strong, but the big winner, and I am happy to say I'm a shareholder of this company, Amazon, absolutely amazing Zon is what they call it. Amazing Zon rocketing higher here to a fresh all-time high. And my goodness, has it been a waiting game? This stock has not been a big performer in recent years. Like, you're talking about a year, years of so much hype and a lot of the AI related names. And Amazon is an AI related name. It does a lot of cloud stuff, but the stock has not been particularly loved, and really has traded sideways for most of this year. That is until yesterday's earnings report, where Amazon killed it. They knocked it out of the park, beating on their estimates. Actually, let's take a look. We can look at some historical, right? Amazon typically does beat their estimations. Yesterday, they had a strong beat, and the stock is up here. We're looking at the earnings report tracker within the stock box. For Apple, currently, hold on, let me switch to Amazon. So let's do Apple first. Apple had a nice beat, but let's take a look at Amazon as well. We've got all the stocks and their earnings pulled in here. There it is. I mean, amazing Zon. Amazing Zon. Okay, that's what the stock ticker stands for. Amazing Zon, absolutely rocketing. Huge beat. Stock's up 13%. That's huge. I mean, this is a ginormous company. To jump 13%, we'll take it. Amazon cutting jobs. Yeah, I mean, and this is scary, right? Dystopian stuff, but Amazon cutting jobs is like super good for the stock. Like if they can automate a lot of jobs, is that scary for like humanity? Possibly. Is it good for the stock? Absolutely, right? If you can cut staff that are, is more efficient to not have them there, or cost-wise can be replaced. Again, it's cutthroat, but it is, for the stock purposes, for the earnings of the company, it is very solid. For shareholders, they love that, right? Layoffs are a weird thing, right? They negatively impact the staff that's hit, but they very positively impact the stock if the stock can run as efficient or near efficient as with those staff people involved. Anyways, Amazon, huge earnings and cutting staff. Stock market loves it. That combination is, like I said, very welcomed on Wall Street. Now, if you're cutting staff and losing a bunch of money, that's not usually as optimistic. But amazing Zon, shooting higher here, up 13%, and with it helping out the NAS, right? So NAS rebounded here. Last night, we had kind of the rebound. I am still long the Qs, as you guys know. Just pull up Qs here. So I'm still long the Qs. Nice little rebound. And specifically, let's take a look at the MAGs. MAGS. This is the Magnificent Seven. Of course, you guys know them. The big ones, Apple, Amazon, Google, all that, right? Those stocks absolutely rebounding like a rocket ship off of Amazon and Apple earnings, killing it. So that puts us in a spot where, all of them so far have done really well earnings report wise as a whole, but specifically some of the AI related revenue, that's where the volatility in some of these stocks is coming. Like, why did Meta get crushed on great earnings? And let me also disclaim, these were great earnings. This actually looked so bad, earnings per share versus estimates. The reason it looks so bad, they put out, details on this basically, but it was like a one-time accounting expense that they wrote in. So it made the earnings per share look bad. But when you rule that out, apparently it was still a very strong beat. I haven't gone through the numbers very closely, but yeah, there's still a strong beat on earnings per share and revenue when accounting for the tax or the one-time expense thing that they mentioned. Regardless, NASDAQ, S&P 500 still holding their gains. Yesterday, you had what looked like a little bit of a sell-off here, right? And then a reversal intraday, right? So this has been the theme of this market. This market is just relentless to the upside. I when it was selling off yesterday, my thought process was, okay, yeah, we should probably go back, retest, fill some of those gaps. And we still might, but the market had another idea. It said Mag 7 earnings still strong, keep going. Yeah, amazing Zon pulled us higher. Anyways, we can also take a look here. The dollar index continues to drive higher. Looks like it's getting just a straight shot to this 100 level. I would not be surprised if we did go there. I did take off my UUP position. I took profits on that yesterday. So I'm all out of UUP, but I'm still long USD CHF. So I'm still long dollar Swiss, still bullish on the dollar. Things seem to be going really well with USD. And I think we may be in the process of a rebound move on the dollar. I saw yesterday Forex James talking a little bit about the monthly chart on the dollar index. And I do think you're still in probably a long-term bull trend, like long-term bull trend for the dollar. Although recently it's been, a down year, a difficult year for the dollar. I do think the bigger picture is that you're going to have the dollar round out, bottom out, and eventually break higher. You have other central banks who are cutting interest rates more aggressively, whose economies are not as strong as the US's, and fighting that's difficult. Hey, I wanted to show you guys something. If you're an Edgefinder user, this is free to you. No, if you're an Edgefinder user, new features do not cost you anything. They are free. You just open your Edgefinder one day and you're like, hey, the tool I paid for a year and a half ago, it got better and I don't have to pay monthly. That's awesome, right? That's what you say. Anyways, we added the simple moving average heat map. I don't know, I might come up with a different name for this, something cooler than this, but it says what it does, what it says on the 10, as they say. The moving average heat map essentially looks at the 20, the 50, the 100-day moving average, and the 200-day moving average. This is essentially just a think of like a currency heat map, but it's an all market heat map. So what you can do here is, let's say that you want to look for like really bullish charts. If you just want a technical screen for really bullish charts, you could essentially just line them all up. Say, I want all of the moving averages to be bullish. And there is your list, right? So if you're somebody who likes simple technical screeners, we've gotten some feedback. I've been asking for feedback from customers on the Edgefinder, how to improve it, right? And the big thing that we've gotten in response is like, basically, more technical screens. So we got more stuff coming. If we take a look here, like I said, if we wanted to switch it to bearish, we could look at, you can see I just like lined up things with bearish 20-day moving averages. We could also change the 50. So we have one chart here and let's see, bearish. So these would be your completely bearish moving averages. There's your list. I know this is nothing, absolutely insane, right? But it's a simple screener, and a lot of people really like that sort of stuff. I certainly do too. If I'm looking for something that's like moving, like for example, NASDAQ, really bullish. So those SMAs are the daily? Yes, that's correct. All of it is based on the daily moving average, so you're getting kind of a higher time frame view of the trend. So yes, this is available now if you have the Edgefinder. Also, of course, new feature as of like the last week is the new AI generated news summaries. So if you're someone who's like, you just want to check in one spot and know kind of like what's going on in financial markets, you can actually do it now. And the best part about this feature, in my opinion, is you can scan for something you care about. So if you care about Bitcoin, right? Just select Bitcoin and it will give you a synopsis of what's been going on and what's causing Bitcoin to move recently. This is super useful if you're like, I just want to pulse check on what is happening and what is driving prices on today's date, right? So there you go. That is the couple new features that we added. And of course, as of the last month, the new AI scanner is up and running. And we also added some of those technical reads into, like, here's your moving averages. We added some of those technical reads into your AI scanner. If you have Edgefinder, just head over to the AI Market Scanner tab, and you can select for whatever you want and get a synopsis of what Edgefinder thinks on it. I'll tell you that this chart, what you're looking at, this is my favorite chart now on the Edgefinder. Every once in a while, my favorite chart gets dethroned. If I'm looking at currencies, my favorite chart is to look at the economic surprise meter, which compares the economies of different currencies, right? I like this chart quite a bit if I'm looking at currencies, but as a holistic view, if I'm looking at technicals, this is pretty much all I need. I can get the idea of which charts are trending the best. And if I'm looking at the market scanner, I can get an overall synopsis of what Edgefinder thinks on a particular asset. And Edgefinder has been absolutely on fire here recently with some of the ideas. Indices bullish the last like few months, etc., have been really strong. We'll see if it can persist into year's end. I've mentioned yesterday in my video, that is my thought process, is I think that stocks can continue into year end. We may get some pullbacks in between, but I think most likely we are where we are or higher by end of year. because we've got some severe momentum in this chart. Payment is possible only with PayPal and crypto. You can also do card, Jacob. If you have questions, if you need help getting access to Edgefinder, shoot us a message on the website. Maybe we can drop the link. Oh, you can also just scan the QR code that's on the screen here, or send us a direct message using this link that's just been dropped in the chat by our producers or producer. So check it out. Send us a direct message here. Click that link. Let us know you want to get access to Edgefinder. And of course, right now is a great time considering we are doing our 45% off discount. It's our Halloween sale. Take advantage of Halloween sale prices, as I've been saying, and this is really cheesy, but spooky low prices are available right now. Biggest discounts of the year are kicked off right now. 45% off on the Edgefinder or VIP group or the stock box. If you already have Edgefinder, you could also get access to stock box. This is also 45% off. You know, if you're someone who's interested in stocks, ETFs, options, futures, things like that, this might be a tool to check out for yourself as well. Stockbox is also 45% off. It is store-wide. On anything that is in our store, you can get 45% off. And yeah, no problem, Jacob. Yeah, just shoot them a message. Support staff can help you out. And make sure that you get the biggest possible discount if you send us a direct message right there. So I'm looking at a couple charts right now. Gold and silver, I'm still, I'm just watching from the sidelines. If I take a look at the moving averages here, you can kind of see, so like this would show you on Edgefinder that we're kind of close to the 20-day moving average. Same thing with gold. We've had a little bit of a rebound. I still think your long-term trend for gold is still intact, but I've also been saying on my videos, I think gold could continue to pull back a little bit further and it be completely healthy. Like I think for the bulls, for the long-term bulls, I would love to see gold continue its pullback. So if I go to gold here, you can see it's getting a neutral reading. So too neutral for me to place a trade. But I would love to see just a healthy correction to the downside on gold, maybe tag that 50, tag that 100-day moving average, and maybe even hit that 200-day moving average. If we hit the 200-day moving average, I'm probably going to look at buying some longer-term gold stuff, maybe even some gold miners, etc. But in the short run, I don't really have any strong directional plays on gold, just because, again, Edgefinder is giving me a neutral reading. Now, when I get this neutral reading, that just means that technicals are neutral, institutional activity is kind of neutral, sentiment bias is mixed, right? Inflation data looks bearish for the gold market, and economic growth signals are strong for the US dollar, indicating a little bit more bearishness for gold, at least at this time. This has been part of the reason I've been really cautious on buying gold, and thank goodness, because the dollar's been really strong. Jobs market signal also is good for gold, right? We've had some weakness in the jobs market, but I think that if you have people who are overly bearish on the US economy, right? The dollar is telling a different story because of two main things. Number one, the US economy relative to peers looks strong. Number two, trade-related worries are seriously getting shrugged off right now. Trump just went around Asia making a bunch of deals. That is not a bearish thing for the dollar, right? We know the dollar got punished because a lot of the world kind of was uncertain around the Trump administration, what they're doing with trade, all that, right? Really spooked investors, and there was a mass exodus of the dollar. If we're going to start seeing deals, which again, read the tea leaves, deals are coming. They continue to come out of the kind of the press. If that happens, don't be surprised by a higher dollar, right? Dollar has a lot to recapture. If trade relations improve, then we have plenty of room to recapture on the US dollar from a higher time frame perspective. If I get my fibs out and I go from high to low, just as an example, we're not even at the 38.2%. That puts us at 101.50. We could see 103. We could see 105. Unless you have some sort of significant fallout in the economy, far and away worse than our peers, Europe, UK, Japan, the dollar, in my opinion, should remain strong. However, it's not as strong as I took some profits on my dollar trade. Like I am by no means bearish, but we've seen some better than expected economic data, like out of like places like the UK recently. Canada's shown a little bit of strength, Australia. So my perception on the dollar went from it was sort of the highest score of the group to it's just mid. So I'm not bearish, but I am certainly not, adding a bunch of longs to my dollar trade. Again, I took profits on UUP yesterday. It was a really good trade. And we'll see where it goes next. Dollar against several other currencies still looks strong, though. Look at euro trying to break through this low here. Pound dollar, my gosh, pound dollar's plummeting. Dollar yen is rocketing higher here. Dollar yen is one of those pairs. I mean, it can go crazy. It could go right on up to 158. No problem. I'm not saying I think that's going to happen because I don't really have a strong enough bias to place that trade. But dollar seems to be moving with just a lot of momentum, as the trend right now is, hey, trade relations improving. That US dollar sell trade that was the first half of the year, maybe that's going to bounce back in the latter half of the year. We also see that in seasonality, right? So if I just as an example why I wouldn't take a dollar yen trade, you can see I just have a 1 on the score. There's not enough here for me, though technicals look incredibly bullish. All moving averages aligned. Technicals look super strong for the short yen idea right now. And that's not even just US dollar yen. You can see it's in the Aussie yen. Here's the CAD yen. Dollar yen looks super strong. Yen pairs to the upside is just like this. It's an age-old, like there's a couple lessons in life that everyone should learn. And one of them should be don't fight the yen. If the yen's in, Bread says tell a scary story. Okay, so in 2022 and 2023, a scary story would have been trying to fight the dollar yen's upside. That is absolutely a scary story. And I know some traders who did that, and it was not fun for them. And he'll talk about it. My friend Gary, he used to come on the streams every once in a while. Gary Fitchhart, he struggled with the yen in 2022. I mean, he did fine because he's, a professional trader and managed his risk. But I don't think it was a very fun time. He was short the dollar yen, and it was just a rocket ship to the upside. So if yen wants to do that again, if we're going to see the US central bank remain relatively more hawkish off of a stronger economy fueled by all this spending in AI, the GDP growth that we see relative to peers. I mean, US has the growth. The dollar should be a little stronger, in my opinion. But I don't know. It's again, it's all relative to other places. That's what matters. So just something to think about. And again, if I'm looking at the economic surprise meter, recently we've had some strength out of Canada and Australia. Let's look at Canada and Australia. Why don't we? Let's look at Canada. So Canada, what's going on with Canadian dollar? Why is the Canadian dollar strong? Well, let's see. So the producer price index came in higher than expected. That's bullish for CAD. GDP growth came in today. It was actually worse than expected. Take a look. We forecasted 0% growth. GDP growth came in minus 0.3. So that's bearish for the CAD. Retail sales were better than expected slightly. CPI 2.4 versus 2.3 expected. So CAD looks relatively strong against expectations. And if we take a look at Australia, PPI came in higher than previous, 3.4 to 3.5%. So we ticked up in inflation there. CPI also was higher than expected, 3.2. So both of those bullish catalysts for the Aussie dollar. Unemployment rate did tick up, however, that's bearish for the Aussie dollar. And GDP growth was better than expected, but this is a little outdated at this point, September. So for me, I mentioned this earlier. I took profits on some of my dollar trades. It was a really good trade, but I'm just going to kind of lock it in. And reset, because now I see, you know, other currencies showing some strength as well. Global economic surprise score has ticked higher here. And again, I'm still in the camp of thinking we have a chase for performance into year end as a path of least resistance idea for me, which leans me into thinking VIX stays muted, stocks move higher, crypto moves higher, oil prices. I also think, I think oil doing some moves. Yeah, I think oil has upside. I've said this a couple times on the show, so I'll just go back to my scanner here and back this up, why I think oil has upside. So overall, Edgefinder bias is still bullish for oil. Technical signal is bullish. Current 10-year seasonality looks good. I'm curious what it is for November. We're about to turn the month. The daily chart, 4-hour chart trend seems to the upside. Though where I'm a little hesitant is, look at this, 50-day moving average, bearish, 100-day and 200-day, all bearish, right? So some of our longer term trends are still flashing red here. I would love to see if we could like capture the 50-day, which I bet you lines up with this. Yep, there's the 50. So basically, I would like to see the 50-day get recaptured. If we can break through that, I like that change in momentum. Nick, not sure if you have it or you have some ears on your head. What? No way. Yeah, happy Halloween to those celebrating or doing something fun today or this evening. I'm going to be handing out candy, and I'm going over to my sister's. We're going to make some drinks, hand out candy. It's going to be a nice evening. Now, the real question is, will I hand out more candy or will I eat more candy? Stay tuned. We'll stream the whole thing and you can find out. Just kidding. I am still long Bitcoin. I went long yesterday with a stop below this previous low. Like I said, I'm still poised, risk on. And the thing is, look, nobody's right all the time. I could be dead wrong. Look back 3 weeks from now, you could say Nick was long Bitcoin, long Nas. What an idiot. But the point is, you can always scrutinize someone's specific idea. Like if I think Bitcoin is going to make a push through the highs, and I think it will, maybe not by year end, but I think Bitcoin's going to make another push. If that idea falls apart, does that mean that I'm a bad trader? No. And if you have ideas, like let's say you think, okay, I think Bitcoin is going to move lower. And let's say you're right. Let's say you think, oh, Bitcoin is gonna break lower and it's gonna keep going down. We're gonna have a risk-off move. If you're right, does that make you a good trader? Also, no. Being right in direction on one specific trade means absolutely nothing. All that matters, and everyone can answer this for themselves. It's not necessarily, I mean, in my situation, I like to share my trading performance publicly. But for your own good as a trader or an aspiring trader or somebody who is already trading and doing well at it, the only thing that actually matters is your long-term P&L. It's the only thing that actually matters. Okay? At the end of the day, how correct you are on a one trade basis means absolutely nothing. It's all about the long-term expectancy of your account. It's kind of like if you're a good poker player, do you win every hand? It's the most foolish thing you ever heard. But somehow in trading land, if I'm right or if I'm wrong, people will make assumptions in my comment section, and I don't care what people think about my trading. Like I've done this for a long time. I've had people say, you're great, you're an idiot. I've had all sorts of comments. But the flaw in that way of thinking is like, I could be right about this. Don't praise me. It doesn't matter what my one idea does. If you're basing your idea of someone's trading ability or your own trading ability based on one trade, you are lost. Trading is all about expectancy over many, 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 many iterations. Okay? Nick's a real cat dad. Yeah, I mean, I am actually Oh, look at this. Wait, hold on. Check this out. Boom. There's my nose and whiskers. See? James has always got me. James, the producer, has got me. Now I just can't move. So today we're going to talk about, I'm like looking off camera to see what I look like. I have now noticed. Nick, let's play Battlefield 6. Man, I would love to, but I'm grown. Not to say you can't game, and like I just don't have any time these days to play much games, man. I would like to, but I've never really been a big like FPS person. I used to play a ton of Counter-Strike, so I take that back. Just play a lot of Counter-Strike in college with my buddies. That and Fortnite. Those were the days, man. I was never any good at FPS games though. Anyways, take a look at gold here. Gold pretty muted on the day. Got a 1 hour chart, just back and forth. I think if you're watching the day trade side of things, gold is actually at a pretty pivotal spot. What's your favorite game all time? Minecraft, easy. Easy. Anyways, guys, let me finish up on gold here, and then we're going to throw the stream over to our next show host. We got Marco. So 4 hour chart, gold prices sitting here at a key level of resistance. My path of least resistance idea on gold is probably lower in the short run. Long term, I'm always bullish on gold. Long term. Short run, though, I still think gold has downside. I'm not short. I have no willingness to short, and I don't have the signal within Edge Finder to short. So there is no trade here for me. But from a technical perspective, you're sitting at resistance. If you're bullish, you probably want that to break and show some signs of strength. If you're bearish, you want it to hold. I don't have enough of a conviction to place a trade. If Edge Finder had a really bearish reading, I'd probably short that, but I do not. So I'm not going to take any trades, and I'm going to wait for gold to give me more of a clear signal. Most pressing idea for me right now is probably oil longs if we break out. And if I take that trade, I'll share it in our VIP Discord. Speaking of which, last thing before I head out, remember guys, we are doing a 45% off store-wide discount right now. If you want access to the Edge Finder, to the stock box, to our VIP group, to the Pulver alerts, anything in our store that you want, you can currently get our biggest discount prices of the year. If you've been sitting around watching streams, watching videos, and you're like, okay, the tools look cool, I'm gonna get them someday when there's a good chance. Today's the good chance. You're not going to get a better chance. That's the lowest price you can get on Edge Finder, Stockbox, whatever. We talked about Stockbox earlier. If you're a stock person, check out Stockbox. Just take a few minutes today, explore our products, because if you ever have thought about getting them, this is the best chance to get them at the lowest possible prices. With that said, guys, how you can do that? Send us a direct message right there or scan the QR code that you see right below my camera, and do not miss the sale. It's ending pretty soon, and we're doing our Halloween sale today. So get some spooky low prices while you can. Anyways, guys, up next, we got Marco taking over the stream. Stay tuned. Hey guys, I just wanted to jump in for a second and let you know a little bit about today's live stream sponsor, DNA Funded. DNA Funded has very generous profit sharing, up to 90%, and 3 different unique challenge types. For those looking to get funded, they also have speedy payouts, unlimited trading days on the first and second phase of their challenges, a very wide list of different things you can trade with over 800 different assets tradable, and maybe the most important component, a very experienced team behind the whole operation. So if you're interested in learning more about DNA Funded, click the link, check it out, see if it's right for you, and make sure to do your own due diligence to see if what they have to offer fits your trading style. For 20% off, you can use code A1T20. Again, that will be 20% off any of their challenges you'd like to check out. Thank you again to DNA Funded for sponsoring today's live stream. Now back to the show.
Hello everyone, welcome to my segment of the stream. So I do hope everyone is doing well. I do also want to remind you, I will be giving away a 25k DNA funded challenge during the stream. So the fastest viewer, the fastest hands will catch the code and get a free DNA funded challenge. Now, last time I think we got Daniel, I think that was the name. Before that, I think Sluggy won. So let's see who will win a challenge today. I'm not going to say when I will give you the code, but it's going to be in like 10 or 15 minutes, okay? Kind of at the half of the stream of my segment. So last time, yesterday, I forgot to mention about the Fed event. So as you guys know, this week, super busy, huge amount of news, huge amount of central bank decisions. And actually, we had a federal funds rate, FOMC statement, FOMC press conference. I talked about a hawkish cut. Well, it happened again. So we again got a cut of the interest rate, but again, Powell signaled a bit of a concern about inflation and kind of the US economy. And he said that a December cut is actually not a guarantee. So what happened? Fed Watch Tool. In the Fed Watch Tool, the chances for a December rate cut went down to 63%. They were pretty much definite, and now they went down to 63%. So that was a very interesting development. And the last time it happened, it was on the 17th of September. So you can see pretty much the exact same reaction. And that is a trading edge. So this is something that a lot of traders, professional traders, they love to trade. Market prices in something, and then an opposite thing happens. So markets priced in a dovish Powell, he went hawkish. Markets priced in a dovish Powell, he went hawkish. So you essentially buy during the press conference, during the speech from Powell, when he says that inflation is still a problem, inflation remains elevated, we're still considering the NFP prints, we're still considering the US economy as a whole, and December rate cuts are not guaranteed. So I thought that was pretty interesting. This is kind of similar to the taco trade, where Trump always chickens out. That's a trading edge. This is a trading edge. So there's many little things where you can make some pretty nice profits and have a pretty good trading edge in your favor, such as these two things, okay? So I expressed my opinion of a hawkish cut through UJ. This is a trade I'm still in. Take profit is set. We are now running some nice profit. And USD CAD. USD CAD, I got taken out of the initial position. Second position is running in profit. So that is good to see. And I do believe there is more upside on the US dollar and more downside for the Canadian dollar. As far as the DXY goes, I think we should be able to reach this swing high without an issue. So I think that is a level to aim. When we do hit that level, I'm not sure what would be the catalyst for the DXY to move higher. I think the next possible major catalyst for a stronger dollar, for a stronger DXY, is no cut in December. So if this thing goes from 63% to like 5% or 10%, and if this box goes to like 90%, then I think the DXY goes even higher. So then you pretty much are not going to get a rate cut, and the markets, will react to the upside on the dollar. So I'm still long on the dollar. I still think the dollar is going to continue going higher. Again, I have my trades in. I actually placed real money on the line. So that pretty much confirms my view of a higher US dollar. I talked about end of month corporate buying of US dollars. Just to repeat, big US companies, they collect revenue from all over the world. They collect foreign currency. Usually, at the end of the month, they need to exchange foreign currency for US dollars. So they need to buy US dollars. And that makes the DXY go to the upside. Okay, so that makes the DXY actually appreciate at the end of the month, last 5 to 7 days. Today is the 31st of October. So this phenomenon, this trading edge has pretty much expired. Maybe we will get some more buying of US dollars now because it's the last day of the month. So the US markets still need to open. But next week we may not get continued sell-off. So that is a factor that I'm considering. But I think long term, Hawkish Fed, no rate cut in December. That could be a nice catalyst for this thing to go up to, let's say, 100.18, something like that. Maybe even higher. We will see. I think the bottom is in. Especially for 2025, I think the bottom for the DXY is in. I think we found it right here. Okay. I think that is the story. As far as my watch list goes, so the NASDAQ right now is still very bullish, still looks great, still has nice blue candles. The price is a bit far away from the 20 MA, so I'm not looking for entry setups. What I would like to see, I would like to see another taco trade. I would like to see another opportunity for a dip, another opportunity to get in on a discount. So I will be seeing what Trump is thinking and saying, because he will maybe crash the markets again like he did on the 10th of October, where I can then go in and buy the dip. Gold and silver have been in this corrective price action, pulling back. If you watched my stream yesterday, you would know I consider this being as an ABC Elliott wave pullback. Okay, so you have the first wave, second wave, third wave. That is usually how pullbacks work in the markets. Now, it's not perfect, it's not guaranteed, but usually you don't just get a single leg during a sell-off. Usually you get multiple legs, and I think now we got a nice sell-off. Let's see, from the top, like minus 11%. That's okay, that's healthy. So it could be another correction like this, like we had in, let's say, April and May. I'm looking for exactly that. I'm looking to actually buy, but I would need a confirmation. I would need a bullish confirmation from the edge finder. So from the top setups page right now, let me see the reading for gold and silver. Neutral on gold, silver is neutral as well. So yeah, I need to wait for that bullish reading. Now let me check the comment section. What are you guys saying? Hey Sluggy, what's up? How was the trip? The trip was great, very exhausting, but it ended well. So very happy with the trip overall. Thank you for asking. Joshua, what's up? I'm doing well. How are you? Hey Max, how are you? Promise you don't blow that challenge, Sluggy. So I know Sluggy is in a challenge, but I think he's doing pretty well. Max, congrats on passing phase 1. So congrats to Max. That is awesome. Expectations of a cut to 67% from 90%. Yes, cut probability over 50%. Yes, so this is a nice website. So Fed Watch Tool, and you can see if you go to the December meeting, this percentage used to be almost 80 or 90. So the markets were pricing in a guaranteed rate cut. And then Powell came in and said, well, rate cuts in December are not a guarantee. And actually, they may not happen after all. So that made the markets react, and it made the dollar stronger. So the DXY is just crushing to the upside. From, let's say, that low, we're up around 1.22%. So that is pretty good. That is very good. What could be the next taco trade inspired by your opinion? I think pretty much the same thing that already happened. So it happened already a couple of times. It's going to keep on happening. And that is dips on the NASDAQ, dips on the S&P, dips on Bitcoin. So try and catch the dip. Essentially, I think this could happen again. Okay. So we had a couple of taco trades during this run to the upside. This was the biggest taco trade with the massive sell-off in February 2025 with the crazy tariffs. Fortunately, I managed to catch the dip here for, let's say, more of an investment horizon. So for investing purposes, I managed to get in a couple of times, and those positions are working out pretty well. I have to say those positions are actually outperforming my trading results for 2025. And that just shows you the power of investing alongside of trading, because you're gonna have these years where you get crazy conditions, where you get crazy discounts, where you can catch the dip and then you get an explosion to the upside. Anyone that invested into gold at the beginning of the year is pretty much crushing it. So if you went in at the beginning, you would be up 51%. That is absolutely crazy. Extremely tough to beat with trading results. So if you can make 51% as a trader consistently year on year, you're in like the top 0.0.0.0.0.01%. So I think the next taco trade could be again on the NASDAQ. Very simple stuff. It's a repeatable pattern. It's a repeatable trading edge, but it's not going to last forever. So it's not going to last forever. You need to be fast. You need to be fast and catch it maybe for the next couple of months, 1 to 2 years. And then I think the market is just going to learn to completely ignore what Trump is saying. Usually the markets work that way. Usually the markets become efficient over time. And a trading edge works until it doesn't. So best to exploit it while it's working. So now let me give away the 25K DNA funded challenge. You can watch my screen. I'm gonna copy and paste the code in my trading view. So the fastest hands will get the free challenge. If you did manage to catch it, put it in the comment section, because I would like to know who actually caught it. So let me just go into my files and text, paste. This is it. So fastest hands, fastest eyes, fastest internet connection is gonna get it. Again, go to DNA Funded, go to the 25K challenge and use this promo code. Let me just check exactly which challenge it is. Just give me 1 second so that you know. All coupons are 25K one phase accounts. Okay, so 25K one phase account. Let's see. Okay. If you did manage to catch this, then basically let me know in the comments. I also want to mention the sponsor of today's video, which is DNA. So I want to connect the two things together. If you guys are looking for a funded challenge, if you want to expand your trading capital, DNA Funded is a great option. So they are a reliable prop firm ran by professionals. So it's not some kid in a basement that's 18 years old. It's actual professional people behind the company. So you know they're going to be here for the next couple of years. And with our discount code, which is A1 Live, you get a very competitive price. You get actually, I would say, the best price when you isolate all of the reliable prop firms. Okay, so when you isolate all of the best prop firms and you apply the code to DNA Funded, you get 25% off, and I think you get the best price. One more thing I really like about DNA Funded is that actually they're using Trade Locker for trade execution, and it's the best software I have used so far. So fast, always works, and it has automatic calculation of your lot size. You just input how much you want to risk. 0.5, 1%, 2%, or 10% if you're a crazy degenerate. But you get all of the calculations built into the software. So I think just because of that, DNA Funded is worth it. If you ignore all of the other positive things about DNA Funded, just the Trade Locker software is worth it. So this is my personal challenge. This is where I test my ChatGPT trading challenge, where I get daily trade signals from ChatGPT. Currently, it is up around 6.27%. So I'm close to passing phase 1. And currently running 2 trades, sell on euro dollar, which is in profit, and a buy on the SPX, which is in some drawdown. So just to mention, ChatGPT has a very good, let's say, it kind of knows when to buy or sell the S&P. So it's not always buying the S&P, it's mostly buying the S&P, but sometimes it actually sells the S&P. And the last trade was a winner on the S&P, and it was a sell. I think it sold somewhere here on the top and caught some nice gains. So that's about it for the channel sponsor. Now let's continue with the regular stream. So let me see, back to the comments. Euro dollar finally broke below that multi-week support. Let me see. Euro dollar. So yeah, euro dollar going lower. I don't want to buy or sell euro dollar because I believe, or my analysis is telling me, both the euro and the dollar are strong currencies right now. So if both currencies are strong, I don't have a trading edge. It usually does not create trends, and I need a trend to make money in the markets. So euro dollar is not the best option to trade, in my opinion. Yes, it looks bearish. Yes, the dollar in the short term is gaining some nice value, but I think there is better opportunities out there, such as buying euro GBP. I think it's on my watch list. It should be. I did put it. Yeah. Buying euro GBP, buying USD CAD. Again, buying UJ, not right now because this is close to an intervention zone, so you don't want to buy UJ right now. But buying USD CAD, buying Euro GBP, again, Euro is strong, USD is strong, Pound is weak, CAD is weak. I'm talking about long term. So I know Nick focuses mostly on the short term results here in the Eco Surprise Meter. I look at both the short term and the long term. Long term meaning I look at the trends in the GDP, I look at the trends in the unemployment, I look at the trends in the CPI inflation, and then I develop trade ideas. The best trades are where one currency is strong both in the short term and long term, and the other currency is weak in both the short term and the long term data. That is a great trading edge. You can usually slap on a nice chunk of risk on that particular trade. So if you have read a couple of trading books, you would know the best traders vary their risk. So they use variable risk parameters for specific conviction levels. If you have a high conviction level, you risk 2%. If you have a low conviction level, you risk 0.25%. So that's a great risk management strategy, but it's definitely for more experienced traders. Is it too early for a long on gold? In my personal opinion, it is. So I like the pullback. I think the correction is now looking healthy. Okay, I think this correction looks healthy, but I would personally like for a bullish confirmation from the edge finder, right? So I would like to see a bullish reading on gold, bullish reading on silver. That would work for me. Right now, we're getting a neutral reading, so that's not the best. Neutral reading, it doesn't give me a lot of confidence to go in. Trump is the real smart money. Yeah, so Trump pretty much manipulates the markets. Who knows what he or his children are buying and selling in the background? They're huge holders of crypto. If you have seen CoffeeZilla, he made a great video about Trump and crypto and his family being invested in crypto. It's very interesting. So Trump, I mean, he's a cool guy, funny guy, but he has a lot of downsides. He has upsides and downsides, unfortunately, as every single person. But lately, he has been a pretty bad influence on the U.S. economy, if you ask me. But he has been great for traders because if you know anything about the taco trade, you can make a lot of money. So you need to ignore politics, as Nick always says. Just ignore politics. Look at the facts. Facts are 90% of the time, Trump always chickens out. So if you just buy the dip, buy when Trump is, let's say, dropping the markets, you're going to make money 90% of the time. Okay. Someone says that they got the DNA funded challenge. Awesome. Okay, Joshua gave up. The site was loading for more than 30 seconds. I knew I was already too late. Prop firms are scams most of the time, and who wants to work for free to see if they give you some money? Their gain is for you to lose your challenge. So look, prop firms make all of their profits from the failed challenge fees. But guess what? Every single retail broker also makes money from when you lose money. So I would say 99% of retail brokers actually don't take your trades. They are the ones standing behind your trades. So when you make money, they lose money. That's the game. It's a dirty game. It's a dirty sport. But if you're with a legit broker, if you're with a legit prop firm, a reliable broker, reliable prop firm, they're going to respect their contract. And if you make money, they're going to pay you out. Okay. So it's the same with a casino, but here you actually have a trading edge. Casino also, when you make money, they lose money. When you lose money, they make money. But when you do make money, if it's a reliable casino, if that exists, they will pay you out. So that's the game. You can either participate or you can stay out. But if you have a good trading edge, you can make profits. I love DNA, but so far they still have huge latency. It depends if you're a scalper. I'm not a scalper. I haven't had any issues with latency with them. So I'm purely a swing trader, and I open positions again, just maybe once or twice per day. So I had no issues with latency. So I don't have any experience on the topic. Is there going to be any more coupons? Yes. So next week I'm going to be streaming every single day, and I do have a couple more coupons to give out. So if you want to know my schedule, this is it. Okay. This is my schedule. So A1 Trading live stream schedule. I'm going to be here next week. Okay. Let's see. Forex Tester is great. I have used Forex Tester. What indicators do you have in your trading view? Just the, let me see, the GT recent high low and the moving average. So only two indicators. Do I need them? No. They're just a visual aid. So I don't think they add anything to my trading edge. They just save me some time to see exactly what the price is doing and where the price is at. But I really don't need any indicators. Please look at EuroCAD. I'm looking for buys. So I'm actually in a EuroCAD position. I'm in EuroCAD. It's unfortunately in drawdown. Okay. Would I add here? Would I go in here? I personally would not. So I do still think fundamentally this trade is solid because the euro is long-term strong, CAD is long-term weak. So I think in the next 2 months, by the end of 2025, euro CAD should appreciate, but I wouldn't get in right now. Well, actually, we're kind of still respecting this trend line. So I don't think it's actually such a bad idea. If we broke the trend line, then I would tell you that it's a bad idea. But since we are still respecting the trend line and overall moving higher, I would say it's still an okay trade to consider. Again, not financial advice, just my opinion. And if you guys want to get trade ideas, trade signals, market analysis, general interaction, definitely check out the A1 Trading Discord. We're running a huge sale on the Edge Finder and on the A1 Discord, I believe. My code is MARKO. And again, a huge discount. Check it out. Join us. There's a lot of successful traders inside of the Discord. We all talk with each other. We all work together, and we develop trade ideas together. So Excel, I like Excel, but I like Notion more. So Notion has tables. You just cannot do any complicated calculations. If you need complicated calculations for developing a trading edge, then you have to use Excel. Just no way around it. If you read about or look at any successful trader, they're going to be using Excel. You can also use Google Sheets, but again, it's limited in functionality. So I would say Excel is a must for a trader. And again, you don't have to pay for Excel. There's a lot of options, if you know what I mean. Can you go again for what you have said about trading during Powell's speech edge? Yes, so it's a known trading edge where the market prices in something, a cut, or let's say a dovish Powell or a hawkish Powell, and then the opposite thing happens. So it happened 2 times in the last 2 to 3 months. It has existed for years now. This is a very, very popular trading edge. So on the 17th of September, people were expecting a dovish Powell. He was hawkish, so there was an interest rate cut, but he was hawkish, market went up. That's weird, right? So if there's a rate cut, shouldn't the dollar lose value? Well, no, because the rate cut was priced in, but a hawkish Powell was not priced in. And then this week, 29th, Wednesday, we had a rate cut. The dollar should go down, right? No, because the rate cut was priced in, but a hawkish Powell was unexpected. So the dollar actually needed to be repriced and people started buying the US dollars. Your edge is getting in on the press conference, listening to the press conference, and buying after Powell has hawkish remarks. So once Powell says we are still concerned about inflation, the US economy is not doing so well, December rate cut is not guaranteed, you buy, and that's the trade. Or you can anticipate a hawkish Powell in advance and buy the dollar before. So I did that on UJ, I did that on USD CAD. Okay, so both options work. You can have a swing trading approach, or you can have a scalping or a day trading approach. Pretty much it can be with research, you can expect a hawkish Powell. It's kind of easy to do. Once you have some experience, once you have been through these events for a couple of times, and once you know generally what is happening with the US economy, you can expect a hawkish Powell. Marco, when you open the Trade Locker window app, don't you have 1 to 2 minutes delay before seeing the chart? No, I don't. No, never had issues like that. Okay, let's see. USD CAD trade is going good. Yes, really happy with the USD CAD trade, but it's still not in massive profit. It's definitely slower than MT4, possibly. It may be a bit slower than MT4, but again, for me, for what I'm doing, swing trading approach, I really don't care about a couple of milliseconds or a couple of, let's say, 1 to 2 seconds, because fast execution is not where my trading edge lies. If you're a crazy scalper, then you must have the fastest possible platform. I do agree with that. But again, I've never had issues with Trade Locker. Can you trade US30 on your platform, and who are you using? So I am able to trade US30. My personal broker is IC Markets, but if you want to know the best broker for you, check out A1 Trading recommended brokers. Okay, so A1 Trading recommended brokers. Okay, here. So it all depends on your country, product, right? So here you can pretty much find the best option for you. Okay. Phone to Trade Locker is fast. Yeah, so I'm only using Trade Locker on my phone. I've used it maybe a couple of times on my PC, and I didn't have issues either. How about gold? How many hours were? Okay, so we are approaching the end of the stream. Actually, the end is here, but let me do one last thing to wrap up the stream. So let me actually get the final request from you guys. So put it in the chat what you would like me to analyze. Is it the currency pair? Is it an indice? Is it gold? Is it silver? So drop it in the comment section. Last thing for today, Friday, again, end of the week, we're going to wrap it up. I just wanted to remind you that next week I will be doing more DNA funded account giveaways. So if you want to get a free account, join the stream. And throughout the stream, I will be giving away a code that you can use to get the free account. Okay. Let's see. Copper, silver, euro, dollar, currency, gold. Well, copper. Let me quickly glance on copper. Yeah, copper is not interesting to me. I'm sorry. So we're not going to do copper, but we can do silver since I kind of focused mostly on gold. Silver, I do have the same opinion as on gold. I think the correction is nice. I think the correction is healthy. And we had the sort of ABC leg lower, but I'm looking for one more confirmation. That is the edge finder. I want to see the edge finder print a bullish bias right here, bullish bias. And then I would be interested to look for buy setups on silver. So that is my game plan. Look for buy setups on silver. Right now at this price, the price is good. Once the edge finder gives me a bullish reading. I think Nick is looking for absolutely the same thing. So yeah, that's a good trade. That's about it. Thank you guys very much for watching. I will catch you in the next one, and good luck in the markets. So let's see if the dollar can push a bit higher. Goodbye.
Spooky season is here, and with it, we're doing a huge Halloween sale. Simply scan the QR code and you'll be connected to a real person on our support staff who can get you set up with a copy of the Edge Finder, our VIP memberships, the stock box, and more for 45% off. It's the biggest discount we do all year long, so do not miss your chance to pick up a copy of the Edge Finder at 45% off. And if you find QR codes too scary, then feel free to use the link in the description down below instead to explore our website or to speak directly to a member of our support team. Don't miss your chance to get some spooky savings on the Edge Finder and our other products, and happy Halloween.
You've been watching A1 Trading Live. We're here Monday through Friday, where you can tune in to hear insights from professional traders from all over the world. Make sure to subscribe for future streams. And as a reminder, if you're looking to get access to free courses, prop firm discounts, and free trading tools, head over to a1trading.com. See you next time.